2. Good evening. At this time, I would like to call the meeting to order. Trustee Tyler Hayes will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
With the hand over your heart, ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Ms. Backus, will you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Aisha Kennerly,
Present.
Chair Jamie Merchant, Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Present.
Trustee Sharice Leonard,
Present.
and Trustee Ruth Heineman.
Present.
Okay, we will approve the Library Board of Trustees meetings minutes from April 23rd, 2024. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on April 23rd, 2024.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, a motion was made by Trustee Tyler Hayes and seconded by Trustee Leonard. Ms. Backus, will you please take a vote?
Vice Chair Aisha Kennerly,
Approve.
Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Approve.
Trustee Sharice Leonard,
Approve.
and Trustee Ruth Heineman.
Approve.
Next, we have approval of the Library Board of Trustees special meeting that was held on May 8th in 2024. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes of the special board meeting of May 8th, 2024.
Do we have a second?
I second.
A motion was made by Trustee Heineman and seconded by Trustee Tyler Hayes. Ms. Backus, will you please take a vote?
Vice Chair Aisha Kennerly,
Approve.
Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Approve.
Trustee Sharice Leonard,
Abstain.
and Trustee Ruth Heineman.
Approve.
Okay, consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine matters, status reports, or documents covering previous Library Board of Trustee items. The items listed on the consent calendar may be enacted in one motion. With the concurrence of the Library Board of Trustees, a trustee or any person in attendance may request that an item be removed for further consideration. Do we have a motion?
I move to accept the consent calendar as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, a motion was made by Trustee Leonard and seconded by Trustee Tyler Hayes. Ms. Backus, will you please take a vote?
Vice Chair Aisha Kennerly,
Approve.
Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Approve.
Trustee Sharice Leonard,
Approve.
and Trustee Ruth Heineman.
Approve.
Communication from the public. Persons wishing to address the Library Board of Trustees on items listed on the agenda are requested to identify themselves and state the matter on which they wish to comment. No action will be taken on matters not listed on the agenda. The Library Board of Trustees would appreciate your cooperation in keeping your comments brief. Ms. Backus, are there any speaker cards from the public?
There are no speaker cards from the public.
Ms. Backus, are there any written comments from the public?
There are no written comments from the public.
Okay. The next thing is our youth update. Do we have any speaker? No. Do we have any reports from the youth?
Hello, good evening, trustees. My sister Zita is sadly sick today, so you will be stuck with me for a while. I'm talking instead of her today. Thank you so much, Miss Heineman and Miss Kennerly, for coming to DIA. We really appreciated you joining us and hope you guys enjoyed it. We received positive feedback from many people at the event, and many parents, guests, and families had a lot of fun. We were really glad to see parents that helped their children with the packet, and it was really nice to see how DIA promoted literacy in the community. We would also like to thank our advisors, Ms. Ariel and Ms. Casey, and also Mr. Dennis for assisting us in so many ways. Without their dedication, this event would have been impossible. So two of our members of TAC made a video from the pictures taken at DIA, and I believe Ms. Casey, one of the advisors, forwarded it over. So if it would be possible to play that. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. That's totally fine. So as we told you before, although DIA is really meaningful and fun to do, this will sadly be the last year TAC will be hosting the event. DIA, as we were told to do it, was a celebration of all cultures around the world. However, recently our advisors found out that DIA wasn't supposed to be a cultural display, but instead a celebration of only Latin American cultures and literacy. The event is targeted toward families and not teens, so it's unsuitable for TAC to handle. And so starting next year, DIA will be taken up by the library, the family literacy department, I think. So a few updates on what we've been doing recently. So firstly, we finalized our annual schedule of all programs. In the coming fiscal year, we plan to add 3 programs to our existing calendar. We will be doing a teen zine, a magazine for teens to be published biannually, a pentathlon, it's like a educational Jeopardy kind of event for teens, and an escape room. So I'll read you guys the timeline. In September, we will have Band Book Week. In October, a booth at the City Event Hallow Weekend. In December, another booth at the City Event Holiday Lighting. And then we will be writing letters to senior homes. In February, we will add one of the new events, an escape room. I think the library has an existing escape room kit, so we would like to utilize that resource, but we might also create a kit ourselves. So in April, we decided to hold the pentathlon, the academic Jeopardy. We chose this time because it's a little while before finals, so teens can come in to review while also having fun. In July, as usual, we will hold Murder Mystery. So we'll be doing the aforementioned teen zine. I am very glad that our advisors suggested we publish a teen magazine. A lot of our members are really excited to do that, and we plan to release the issues in December and June next year, so in 2025. So right now we are all hard at work on Murder Mystery. This summer we will have Murder Mystery on July 8th between 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. The script for it has been finalized. Our advisors are going to purchase a fairy tale themed murder mystery script. We have 8 actors, and we are very excited to plan the event. Originally, we wanted the actors to have their first rehearsal last meeting, but because there were issues with the library credit card numbers, our advisors couldn't buy the script, so we will have the first rehearsal on June 6th, our next meeting instead. So sadly, Murder Mystery is only for teens, so even though a separate session for adults has been suggested many, many times, sorry, no one over the age of 18 or under the age of 12 will be able to participate. For upcoming meetings, TAC will split up into 2 groups, so we will hopefully be able to get everything in our calendar done. All of our members are really excited for all of the coming events, and we hope the community will like everything as much as we do. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for that report.
Yes, sorry. I think that was kind of long, but
I just wanted to congratulate you on the event. It was really well organized, and it was just wonderful that your whole group did that. I'm sorry that it wasn't what should have been, but no, I thought it was fabulous with the different parts, with the food, and then the information, and then the game or activity for each country. So congratulations on the event.
thank you. My sister spent a lot of time planning for that event, and I'm sure she'll be glad to hear
Okay.
that it went over well with everyone.
Very good. Before we get further into our comments, Ms. Backus, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No speaker cards from the public.
Or are there any written comments from the public?
No written comments from the public.
Okay. Do any of you, Trustee Leonard, have any comments for our youth?
I have a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I was telling both of my girls about summer at your library and all the things going on, and I was telling my 16-year-old about the different things going on and about the murder mystery dinner, and she was like, oh, that sounds cool. I've never seen my 9-year-old so jealous. She was like, how come they get all the cool stuff? That's not fair. So you guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your report. It was very detailed. You guys did a lot of work. And I can't wait to read your magazine next year. And then I love Banned Book Month, so I'm looking forward to that.
That was awesome. I'm like Trustee Heineman, it was a great event, and I like sampling the food. That was an extra touch for me. And like Trustee Tyler Hayes said, you all have a lot going on with your 3 new programs, and you have schedules all up until June of 2025. So you've been working hard at planning.
Yes, my sister has also been like really busy trying to plan out what events we should do. So we had a lot of suggestions from our advisory board. So we had to sort through them and choose which ones were most suitable for the library. And then she had to find which dates were most suitable. So yeah, I'm glad that, yeah.
So you will be back next year?
Yes, I will.
You get a
Great.
summer break?
Yes. I don't think TAC takes a summer vacation, so I think it's year round.
Well, job well done, I must say. Are there any more comments from? All right, well, thank you for that report, and we wish you all of what you're expecting for the energy and the time that you're putting into this, because it's definitely going to be well received.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have a library report by Ms. Finch, report presented by Martin Villegas.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So our library manager, Ms. Whittington, is taking a much-deserved vacation this week, but we are very lucky to have Martin Villegas here to present the library report for us this month. So just a quick highlight of some of the items that he'll be talking about. We have some new online services that we are in the process of launching that we're happy to share with you. We're also going to give an update on upcoming events, an update on some parking challenges that we've had over at the library and some of the things that we've been doing to try and help resolve that. We also are going to be sharing our top titles for the month for both fiction and nonfiction, and providing an update on the Heritage Room renovation project, which is in full swing right now, as well as our library strategic plan, which we know all of you have been a part of, and we appreciate your efforts. And then lastly, we'll wrap it up with some information on upcoming agenda items. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Villegas to give us the report.
All right. Hello, everybody. So to start with, well, welcome. This is the library report presented by me. I'm a library specialist too here at the Corona Public Library, and it is always fun and a treat to be here in front of you. So we'll start by highlighting the service as Ms. Whittington does every time. So the service that we're highlighting today is an online tutoring service called BrainFuse. If you have not used BrainFuse before, I highly recommend at least checking it out. It is focused mainly toward the K through 12 crowd, but there are some resources on there for our higher education as well. The focus is mostly online tutoring, pretty much across a wide variety of subjects, but they also do have writing lab assistants and a few library staff and either, the family has experience and has success stories with using that writing lab, as well as a few of our patrons. It also provides a wide range of other academic support tools. So even if you don't necessarily need tutoring, there are some lessons there for you to follow if you just want to explore different topics. It is, of course, available for free via a library card, thanks to the California State Library. And one thing that is worth pointing out is this is approximately about $25,000 that the state library provides. Since the time that they've been paying for BrainFuse, it has covered over about $50,000 worth of costs for us. And one thing that we're worried about is with this upcoming budget shortfall, that may be something that the library has to pay out of pocket for in the future. As of the last fiscal year, so starting in July of last year, we had 9,978 users using their service. So that is something that we definitely want to continue to support and continue to promote. And in fact, myself as the Veterans Connect at the library lead, there is also a Vet Now service that comes along with BrainFuse that helps veterans as well. So it's something that, again, we really want to make sure we get out into the community and can continue to support. So, BrainFuse. So as Director Finch mentioned, we do have some bit of modernization going on at the library. We are going to start providing online study room reservations. So as of right now, all study room reservations happen either in person or over the phone at the library. And we are going to start rolling out an online service called LibCal, provided by the SpringShare software. So the link isn't quite live yet. We are still doing some final tinkering before it goes live in June. But by next month, we're hoping to start rolling this out, publishing it everywhere we can, and allowing people to enroll in a study room reservation online. And for those of our regulars that may be accustomed to either calling in, 5, 4 in the morning sometimes and leaving us a voicemail, they will still be able to do that. So this will just accompany the standard reservations, either in person or over the phone, that they can continue to make. But again, we're hoping that this online study room software is going to be fairly easy for them to use. It certainly has been easy, at least for staff to test out. So we're just ironing out some final wrinkles there before it goes live. The very important thing is it does send confirmation emails and reminders to them. So in case a patron sets a reservation out, quite some time into the future, maybe up to a week ahead of time, they'll get a reminder, the day or the hour before the reservation, allowing them to either change, edit, or, contact us if they need to, or if they can't be there. So look forward to that coming out next month. Speaking of next month, Summer at Your Library is starting very soon here at the Corona Public Library. So June 3rd is going to be our official kickoff, and we're going to have events pretty much all summer long. So you will get more details when we have our Summer at Your Library preview later on in today's meeting. But you can see a highlight of just that first week already here on the screen. So we have our kickoff event happening June 3rd. We are bringing in a special performer for that. But the main details for that is going to be June 3rd from 10 to 11 at the Francis Aldama Martinez Community Room at the library. So definitely don't miss out on that. We're going to have some backyard animals provided by a group called Wild Wonders. On June 4th, our family literacy program is hosting a special event for our adult learners and tutors. So that is called the Healthy Planet, Healthy Me workshop. So attendees are going to get a kind of like an all-inclusive workshop on what it means to be a healthy person. There's going to be options of healthy snacks. They're going to get lessons that teach them about, being a sustainable person here in our community, and again, promoting sustainability as well as educating on making healthy choices. And that's going to be for, once again, our family literacy participants or adult literacy students or learners. We also are trying the Summer Paint and Sip program. So that's going to be a 21 and over event held at the library. There are going to be 2 of them. So that's on June 5th and July 17th. And again, we'll get more details on that later. The other big event that we're planning for this summer is our brand new environmental literacy fair. And of course, all these events follow along with a summer theme of Read, Renew, Repeat, which is a lot about habitat, sustainability, and learning about the world around us. So that literacy fair kind of culminates everything. There's going to be a plant swap event along with resources for our patrons to learn all about being literate in environmental literacy. Now we get to the not so fun news. So parking at the library has been an issue, so much so that it was brought up during our focus groups for the strategic plan. We have had some successes. So within the last year, the library was able to change some of the permit parking signage on Bell Avenue. And so that gave us a total of 125 spots to work with. 2 of those parking spots located closer to the courtyard are dedicated Friends of the Library parking for them to do, all kinds of managing the donations. And 5 of those spots are also handicap spots. So that leaves us with about 118, other spots for our patrons. And during storytime mornings or during busy periods at the library, it can be a challenge. We do get patrons telling us in person a lot that, they were late for a study room because of parking, or maybe they missed out on story time because of parking. So on the screen right now, you'll see the red area closest to the nearby hospital facilities. That has been our biggest challenge right now. We have continued and begun kind of trying to enforce that we have contacted. Well, first we reached out to the hospital and let them know that, their parking was overflowing into our parking space. And then we reached out to our parking enforcement team, and just by trying, to educate that we kind of need those parking spots, we have had success. So we have noticed, especially on those storytime mornings, it is a bit more open than it was in recent past. But again, we're going to continue to try and make sure that our library patrons have the parking that they need in order to attend the library. But that has been one of our major challenges that we've tried to tackle recently. And then one step that we may have to take would be getting parking gates installed. But again, it all depends on how the rest of this plays out. And back to the fun news. So our top titles for April in the land of fiction here. I was actually very surprised to see Mr. Fly Guy up there at number 1. We have the usual suspects in the anime and manga series with Pokemon, My Hero Academia, One Piece, and Demon Slayer continuing to be very popular titles. And of course, the children's literature stalwart and Dogman is still rounding out the top 6 there. And as you can see, all of them checked out very many. They checked out a lot. So in the land of nonfiction, our primary phonics books also continue to be very popular. And for those of you who may be new to those are a series of books in the children's nonfiction section. They're mostly very simple pictures and filled with sight words, or obviously phonics words. So those continue to be popular, especially amongst parents trying to get their beginner readers pretty much to learn to read. The Science and Technology Encyclopedia, that also continues to be very popular. Those volumes have checked out quite a bit. And rounding out the nonfiction titles over in the adult space, we have the Woman in Me by Britney Spears, and of course an Elon Musk, biography by Mr. Isaacson. All right, and going into the digital space with the ebook titles, Lee Child is on there twice. Very popular author, continues to be very popular within our community. Michael Connolly and David Baldacci are also up there, 2 very good authors. Mr. James Patterson is also on our list with Never Never. And Sheila Kohler breaks the top 6 with Becoming Jane Eyre. So that was our top ebook titles. And again, many of those checked out multiple times as well on our ebook platforms. All right, so going back to library programs, you may notice that this June calendar looks a little sparse. Don't worry, we still have tons to do. A lot of these summer events are just on their separate calendar that is double-sided because it doesn't fit on a single calendar anymore. The Homework Center and Math Tutor did take a break, so those 2 programs are planned around the school year, so those will return in the fall. So for June, there's a little bit of extra space on the calendar, again, because those programs are missing. You may notice that on June 19th, due to the Juneteenth holiday, the library will be closed, and a couple of our offerings also will be unavailable that day. One thing to note is that guided story walk is returning. We had planned to make a return for that during National Library Week, but unfortunately it was a bit rainy on that day. So we are bringing that back, and in June we are going to have a guided story walk with the magnificent thing, or the most magnificent thing, at Mountain Gate Park. That's going to be led by yours truly, so it's going to be fun. All right, so moving on to our Heritage Room update. I was actually very excited because I got to go up there for the first time and check it out. It is certainly an impressive project. So construction is on track to be finished by either late June or early July, depending on how some of these final large tasks go. The current tasks that are being undertaken are the storefront glass. So I don't know if you've gotten a chance to go into the space yet, but pretty much where the previous border was that kind of looked down onto the first floor of the library, all of that, as I understand, is going to be covered now with glass from the kind of middle railing wall all the way to the ceiling. It's going to be all glass up there. It's going to look really nice. So that's the next big main project, as well as getting some more furniture in there. Right now, they were working on the carpeting before they get all of that major stuff installed. And then the last steps after that would be to get the book and archival shelving finalized. And those should be arriving in about 6 to 8 weeks. So again, once those arrive, that should be the final piece of the puzzle. And then, of course, the rest of it will just be tidying up and making sure it looks in tip-top shape for our residents. So yeah, Heritage Room is coming along nicely. So again, as Director Finch mentioned, we do have some quick strategic plan updates. So many of you were part of our focus groups that we held. We also had focus groups with community stakeholders as well as the public. We had over 1,400 survey responses. So thank you to each and every person in our community that gave us their feedback. It is much appreciated. Even in person at the focus groups, we had excellent amounts of participation. I think we were very, I'm on the strategic planning committee as well. I was actually pretty impressed with the amount of feedback and the kinds of feedback that we got. I think our residents had some really good things to say. So I'm excited for the rest of this project, which is now to analyze all of their feedback. So we're working with our partner at Library IQ. Her name is Debbie Joy. She was here on May 7th through 8th, helping us lead those focus groups. And she'll also be helping us lead that analyzation of the data to make sure that we can form specific goals for then, implement in the strategic plan. So right now we are on track to finish by around August or September, hopefully late August, early September. But yeah, that is our update on that. And so finally, looking ahead, we do have quite a few agenda items coming up. Obviously, Summer at Your Library starts next week, Monday, June 3rd. So definitely look out for that, and you'll get, again, a very special presentation after this. On June 5th, we are finalizing our budget, so we'll be a part of that process as well. June 19th, again, we are going to be closed for that holiday, but not to worry. We will reopen the next day on June 20th, starting at 10 a.m. And for the next Board of Trustees meeting, we have our year-end review culminating this wonderful fiscal year. And now we open it up to questions. Does anybody have any questions about all of this wonderful information?
You don't. Ms. Backus, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No speaker cards from the public.
Are there any written comments from the public?
No written comments from the public.
Trustee Leonard, do you have any comments?
Quick question, Martin. On the parking, I know the lot the picture that we are looking at, the lot immediately to the right is dedicated for hospital parking. Is that being utilized? Or are they not utilizing that and utilizing our spaces because it's closer? Just by like that much?
So just from personal experience, walking by there, it does seem like that space is pretty full, at least from the times that I've seen. But whether or not, so what I can't quite answer is whether or not it is being used for hospital parking. So I don't know if there are any nearby businesses or organizations that are also overflowing into their space, causing them to overflow into ours. But from what I can tell, the patrons, at least that have come up to me and personally, been a little frustrated with the parking. As soon as you get into Stan Reynolds or turn in from Bell, you're kind of trapped in our parking spot. And so what patrons may be doing, or maybe hospital patrons be doing, is just parking wherever they can.
Right.
But from what I can tell, that other additional space does seem to be pretty full most of the time.
And don't get me wrong, I really appreciate what our first responders do. Just definitely makes it hard for our patrons to park. So, okay, thank you.
I'd like to ask a question about the Heritage Room, and it looks like it's moving along really well. Is there going to be like a grand opening to let the public know, about the wonderful room?
I can actually respond to that. We are planning to do some type of an event. It's going to take us, as Mr. Villegas said, once construction's done around late June, early July, it's going to take us a couple months to move everything back in and to get the room set up. But probably around early to mid-fall, when we're ready to open, we do plan to host an event to be able to celebrate the new facility.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
I have a question.
I was just getting ready to acknowledge you. I was going to ask you, do you have any comments?
I have a question about Brain Fuse. Is it known and promoted within the school district? Is that where the biggest majority of the,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Again, we do heavily focus on the K through 12 crowd there. They are, I would say, the majority of the users that use the space. It is certainly what it's designed for, but yes, we definitely promote it within our local schools.
okay. How many study rooms do we have?
Currently, we have 6 study rooms. So we have 3 rooms that go up to 2 people in capacity. We have 1 room that goes up to 4 people in capacity, and 2 rooms that go up to 6 capacity. The issue right now for summer is one of those rooms becomes our prize room. So that's where we run a majority of our prize distribution out of for the Summer at Your Library program. So over the summer, it doesn't seem to be as in demand. So we lose one of those study rooms and we go down to 5. But for right now, we have 6 total, and it does get pretty competitive on school afternoons. So
Okay. And then as far as parking goes, I go to the book club that the library runs once a month, and it's also during the same time as story time. But the parking lot is full before, and I'm not sure that they're patrons or people come into story time, because I usually come a little bit earlier. And that parking lot is packed, so I think it's hospital people using the lot.
yeah, and I will add that for preschool story time specifically, we do have because of the demand for preschool story time, we have a system in place where we distribute tickets before the library opens. So if you are seeing people park in our library, it could also be those families that are just, extra ahead and really want to get one of those tickets. But there's only about 22 of those tickets that get given out. So if you see more vehicles than that in our lot, it's definitely from somewhere else.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing something about it, because they normally complain in the book club, and they complain to me. So thank you.
Martin, I was wondering, I just wanted to clarify, did you say we did acquire 125 more parking spots? Or we're looking into it?
So that is the amount of parking that we have total right now, as of this moment. And that was, again, with the addition of the parking on Bell Avenue. So previously, what happened was it was, I think, striped and or had signage on that said it was permit parking only. And that stayed for a few months before we were able to get that removed. So on our side of Bell, that was always supposed to be library parking, from what I understand. On the opposite side, closer to the new hospital facilities, that was permit parking, and still is, I believe. So what happened was we were able to remove the permit restrictions on that part of Bell to open up to 125, or to get to 125 spots currently.
Well, that's great. That's great. I know we just mentioned that at the focus meeting in May. Well, this is May, right? Earlier in the month. And it's awesome to see that you all responded to that so quickly. And also, you have, as usual, the library is buzzing in the summertime. And I'm just really impressed with a lot of the activities you have for the youth as well as older people, like the paint and sips. So that should be something fun and something to look forward to. So, great job. I appreciate it. Any more comments from anyone?
Can I just ask one question? And like Aisha said, there's an awful lot of activities. How many staff do all those things? As I know, when I was reading through today at home, I got tired just even seeing all the things you do. So how many staff people are involved in doing the summer program?
So within our literacy and community engagement team, I believe there's about 18 of us. So
good.
the lead for summer, we kind of split up into different parts. Of course, our supervisor here, Ms. Jennifer Bauserman, she kind of takes the lead on summer. But I help with our volunteer recruitment. We have staff that helps plan programs. We have other staff to facilitate those programs. And of course, our library services team, our circulation team, our shelving and reservations team, they all play a role in helping us advertise and, get the patrons and public informed and where they need to go. But it really is mostly, I would say, these 18 in our core group that help us plan and facilitate everything.
Yeah, just wonderful programs. I mean, it looks like it's so much fun. So congratulations.
Anyone else?
If I could just add really quickly, I want to look at the brighter side of the parking issue. That's awesome. You guys always impress me. The fact of the matter is we have that many people who want to come into our library that parking is an issue. And that's because of the tireless efforts that you guys are putting into making sure that there's community engagement and programming that involves different parts of the community. So I would like to really congratulate you guys on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, trustee communications, trustee Leonard, do you have any general comments about anything? Trustee
Chair,
Galloway?
Vice Chair,
Oh,
we
right.
do have one more presentation. I
Oh, I'm so
apologize for
sorry.
interrupting. We have Ms. Bauserman to give the presentation on Summer at Your Library.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jennifer Bauserman. I'm the library supervisor for our literacy and community engagement team. And I'm going to go over Summer at Your Library preview and let you know all the fun things that will be happening. Martin touched on some of them, but we have lots more to talk about.
Okay.
So this year's summer reading theme is Read, Renew, Repeat. And we are offering Summer at Your Library starting at June 3rd. That is our kickoff day, and it will end on July 26th with a finishers party that we'll be holding at the library on that Friday. We have a variety of things that are going to be going on all summer, including the Summer Reading Challenge, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. We have our On the Go, some of our passive activities, which will be held in the library for anybody who just needs a quiet place to come and work on. There's a scavenger hunt we're planning. There's like coloring and different stuff that they can do as passive programs. And we will also have our special events that I will touch on a little bit in a moment. Those include some of our activities for teens, as well as our activities for adults and our guided story walks. So our summer kickoff is on June 3rd at 10 a.m. All ages are welcome. Wild Wonders is bringing animals, most likely like a possum and things like that, more background or backyard animals, and they're going to be talking about some conservation as well. And that will also be the first day to sign up for our Summer Reading Challenge. Environmental Literacy Fair will be held towards the end of June from 5 to 7 p.m. And once again, that's for all ages. And we have a lot of community partners that will be coming for this event, including Riverside University Health System, City of Corona Utilities Department, California Native Plant Society, the Riverside Corona Resource Conservation District, as well as our Library Maker Exchange. There'll be a plant swap. They'll get to talk to all the booths, and then there will be activities for all ages, including some Maker Exchange activities. And during the summer, we have 2 weekly programs that'll be happening between June and July. We're introducing what's called STEM for Little Twigs for ages 3 to 6 on Friday mornings. This will have stations set up to encourage critical thinking, STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And that'll be held on Fridays from June 7th to July 19th in our community room. We also are having a weekly family movie matinee on Thursdays starting at 1 p.m. All ages are welcome, but these are, of course, family-friendly with movies that are either G or PG. We'll have snacks available. People can come in, sit in the air conditioning, and watch a movie. On the Go will also be continuing throughout the summer, which is led by Martin. On Mondays, they'll be visiting one of the splash pads, so either Citrus Park, it'll be Citrus Park for June, and in July, it'll be Ridgeline Park. There will also be on the Go days on Wednesdays as well, and that will be from 10 to 12. And Guided Story Walk with the Librarian will be returning. We have Friday, June 14th will be our first one with the story, The Most Magnificent Thing. And participants will get to walk the story walk trail with the librarian and hear the story. And they'll also get to participate in a craft as well. And July's will be Friday, July 12th, and the book will be Lola Plants a Garden. We also have lots of maker exchange happening throughout the summer. Weekly on Mondays, we'll be holding our mini makers, which is for ages 6 to 12. And we will also be offering maker masterclass for ages 13 to adult, and that will be the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month for both June and July. And we haven't forgotten the teens. Teens will have a movie night or a game night on Thursday in July. They'll be playing Super Smash Bros. And there's always food and snacks available for teens. That's how we get them in there. We'll also we'll have our yearly murder mystery. And it is fairy tale themed this year, so it's called Once Upon a Murder. And registration for that will start, I believe, it will be towards the end of June. Teens can register for at the adult desk for the murder mystery. Our adaptive story hour is going to continue through summer. It's held second and fourth Monday of each month. And that is geared towards ages 14 and up with their caregiver. And that includes a story time as well as a craft or activity. We do have that year round, and it will continue during the summer. And for the adults for 21 and up, we have our paint and sip nights from the Corona Art Association. The first one is on June 5th. There's no registration required, but it is limited to the 30 participants. So you just show up with your ID and we'll let you in. And then the June 5th one is canvas painting, and the July 17th activity is painting wine glasses. And there will be alcohol.
Two drink minimum.
Okay, and then of course, the staple of our summer reading program is always our summer reading challenge. And that registering for that is June 3rd to July 26th. It is for all ages, baby through adults can participate. All of you can participate and get free prizes. This year, we will be offering the summer reading challenge through a new software called Beanstack. We have used Book Points in the past, but they have phased out their online platform, so we're now using Beanstack. Our library's website is coronapl.beanstack.org, or you can use the Beanstack app. So my recommendation is to download the app. You would search for our library, and then you can sign up. And we'll go over a little bit more of what that looks like. So this is what the app looks like if you download it on your phone. You're going to select At My Library, School, or Bookstore as the first option. The second screen is going to ask you to find a site. And then you're going to type in Corona Public Library, and our site will come up, and then it will have you create an account. Beanstack is being funded by the Friends of the Corona Public Library, and we will use Beanstack year-round. So it will have the Summer Reading Challenge during the summer. In the fall, it'll have the Star Wars Read Challenge. In the spring, it'll have the In and Out Challenge. So families can create a Beanstack account, one account, and then they can use that all year round for the different reading challenges that we'll have. You can create an account now for Beanstack. You just can't register register for a summer reading program until June 3rd. That's when it'll become available. But you can get your account created, all of that, and you'll be good to go. And here's what it'll look like. You'll have challenges that'll pop up. If you're signing up for yourself, you'll have the adult challenge for that age group would come up. You can also use it on a regular browser on the computer. And you earn points for reading, listening, attending programs, or entering secret codes. And if you go to an event, we will have a sign up with the secret code. And you put that secret code in the Beanstack app, and it will give you points. And points go towards to earn prizes, and it will also go towards like digital raffle tickets. And so if you earn tickets while you're reading for the Summer Reading Challenge, you will then have the option to put those tickets into a digital raffle to earn our grand prizes. And we have some pretty good grand prizes. For our babies and toddlers this year, we have a puzzle bundle as well as a splash pad and bubble maker. For our school-age kids, they have a board game bundle or a $100 Lego gift certificate. And for teens and adults, we have an instant camera and film or a $100 dinner and movie gift card. So there's some pretty cool prizes to win as grand prizes. And of course, you get your regular prizes from the prize room when you hit your point markers. And we still will have option for offline readers. So if we have families that just don't have access to the internet or really have no interest in doing it on their phone, we can register them as an offline reader, and they'll receive just a paper reading log that they'll color in, and they will still have chances to win all the prizes just like everybody else. And we have prizes for all ages. So we have reaching ages 0 to 4. We have age-appropriate prizes for them. Our readers ages 5 through 12 will have a selection of things to choose from, including beach ball, a kite, a writing tablet, an I Spy game, a water blaster, and of course, at the end, they can choose a book. And then we also have prizes for readers 13 and up. We have a tote bag, we have an embroidery kit, we have a bento box, we have magnetic bookmarks and little earbuds as well. And then, of course, anybody who finishes a summer reading program can choose a book, and they will also be given a coupon packet. This year we have In-N-Out, Cane's, Baker's Dozen, Texas Roadhouse, Red Robin, and I think we have a couple of more things that are going to be added here pretty soon as well. And any questions?
Wow.
I know, all we can say is wow. Trustees, any of you have any questions, comments?
Yeah, so who came up with, and you know, I was thinking this was all involved when Martin was talking, because I had read about some of these things. So how are you getting the word out about the new app?
We will have it in all of our social media information that we put out. We also have a very large sign that we're going to put next to the summer reading booth that has a QR code that lets people know they can scan the QR code and it'll take them straight to the app on their phone and they can download it. We also have our website. We have a Summer at Your Library page that we've reactivated that has all the information about summer as well as how to access Beanstack.
Well, I have to tell you, as a kid, I was in the library a lot. They did not have programs like these, so good thinking. These are wonderful things. So.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm busy joining Beanstack. And I do appreciate the fact that when it got to what my age was, it stopped at 21 plus, and I didn't have to keep scrolling. That's always so disappointing. Okay, so I know that year-round we have the adaptive story hour for 14 and up, but now that it's summer, what about an adaptive story hour for the kids that are younger than that? Because sometimes parents don't necessarily feel comfortable taking their kids to general events. Is there going to be something offered for those kiddos too?
Not at this time. I would recommend giving STEM for Little Twigs a try. It won't be a traditional story time, but it will be their stations, and it would make it easier to kind of participate at their pace.
Okay. Thank you. It looks awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, they said it all. This is awesome, and there shouldn't be a dull moment in the library. I'm looking forward to it. Trustees, do you have any comments about any things since we last met? Trustee Heinem?
Three of us went to the Serving with a Purpose, courtesy of Friends of the Corona Library, and it was a wonderful event. And thank you very much to the friends that paid for that. It was a very nice day, and some of the staff was able to go, so I thought that was really good too. I got to meet with some of the staff and talk to them about things, so I really enjoyed the whole day.
Thank you. Trustee, okay. Trustee, all right. You're still signing up?
Still trying to join
Still
Beanstack.
getting on Beanstack, okay.
I'll
Trustee Tyler.
try joining at home, and you're probably going to get a lot of calls from me. Anyway, I also attended Serving with the Purpose, and I want to thank the Friends for paying for us to go to that event. I got to say, this was probably one of the best Serving with the Purposes that I've attended. They talked a lot about advocacy, and I really enjoyed meeting with the other trustees that are throughout the state or the community and finding out what they're doing in their libraries and how they're working with the library staff. So I was also impressed with how the American Library Association supports the libraries and advocates for libraries throughout the country. So thank you.
I went also, and I must say that the presenters were engaging, enthusiastic about their particular topics that they spoke on, and one in particular is a lady who works at the San Diego Zoo in the safari park. I'm going to give a shout out to Georgianne Irvine. She's been there for 48 years, and a lot of the animals that she deals with have physical problems. So she brought many slides so we could see them in their operating rooms, just see what the source of their problems were, how they handled them. And a lot of those animals are still there, 30 and 40 years later. So if you ever go to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, be sure that you look her up. That's Georgianne Irvine. And I will end with a quote from Christopher Reeve that one of the presenters shared with us, and that was, "Once you choose hope, anything is possible." So if there are no more comments, I will thank everybody for being here tonight, and we will adjourn this meeting at 6:23. The next meeting will be scheduled for Tuesday, June 25th in the council chambers. Thank you.